Part 58. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 571. In addition, Xiaoxian is small. In this complex terrain of the mountain forest, the tiger beast felt as if it had no place to use its strength as it moved around. Ho ho ho. The limbs of the yin-yang tiger beast are like giant steel arms, waving wildly among the mountains and forests. The entire mountain forest was smashed with broken trees and rocks. Seeing this scene, Sidu Shenlong and others outside the net also looked at each other, feeling secretly heavy in their hearts. Under such a fierce attack, I am afraid that even masters in the Kengshen realm will find it difficult to survive. Can Xiaoxian still survive? What they expected was good. Under such an attack by the yin-yang tiger beast, Xiaoxian did encounter unprecedented trouble. He discovered that although the yin-yang tiger beast was a monster, but there seemed to be a pair of yin and yang fish flowing around him, and instead of slowly being depleted, the power in his body even showed signs of increasing. Even his physical injuries are slowly recovering. This made Xiaoxian secretly frightened. These fourth-level monsters were indeed extraordinary. Fortunately, he took the initiative to enter the big net and discovered this in advance. Otherwise, wait until the yin-yang tiger beast heals his injuries. Not to mention leaving this big net, I am afraid that even cultivators like Sidu Shenlong will have a hard time surviving. Since you are so difficult to deal with, you beast, then don't blame me for being rude. Xiaoxian's face was ashen, and the pure yang sword Ju in his hand was running wildly, and the Tao power in his body also increased exponentially. Let me show you 3 moves first. Let you know that I am not someone to be bullied. Draw on previous experience. Xiaoxian knew that things like monsters living in mountains and forests usually fear the strong and bully the weak. If you are stronger than it, it will naturally surrender honestly. But if you are weaker than him, he will intensify his efforts and attack you actively. This is one of the more ridiculous things. Laugh. The strength of Chunyang's sword Ju was displayed. The golden gangfeng appeared and cut directly into the yin-yang tiger beast's body. When Xiaoxian was shocked, facing the attack of the serious sword, the yin-yang tiger beast did not dodge, as if he didn't notice it at all. Such an attitude really made him a little unbelievable. You know, no matter what, his serious sword was given as a gift by the system. Not only was it extremely sharp, it also contained endless Taoist mysteries. Ordinary practitioners would take the initiative to retreat when faced with such power. But this yin-yang tiger beast actually looked nonchalant, as if he didn't take the serious sword to heart at all. Could it be that this thing's defense is so strong? Right in front of Xiaoxian, he watched helplessly as those extremely sharp swords and wind slowly disappeared when they landed on the yin-yang tiger beast. Not even a trace was left. What the hell? What's wrong with this? When my attack landed on this guy, why didn't he even get a splash? Xiaoxian couldn't help but scolded. If this is really the case, then why not fight? Isn't this guy already in an invincible position before he starts fighting? After several consecutive sword blows, the yin-yang tiger beast defused them without any pain or itching. Only then did he realize that perhaps there was no way to deal with this fourth-level monster using ordinary methods. But Xiaoxian is not someone who gives up easily. After working with the system for such a long time, he also understands that the system is not a casual joke. At that time, since there was nothing stopping him from entering the big net. That's proof enough. The yin-yang tiger beast in this big net is not invincible. Maybe he just needs to think of a better way. After understanding this, Xiaoxian's face became more solemn, and the power of the soul reached its extreme, and he began to operate the heaven and earth soul search technique. When I got the soul searching technique of heaven and earth, Xiaoxian has already tried to use it. He discovered that this heaven and earth soul searching technique could not only enhance his soul energy, but also find the opponent's weaknesses in battle. At this moment, he also tried to use it. The heaven and earth soul searching technique is used. In an instant, the powerful power of the soul was displayed, and the yin-yang tiger beast in front of Xiao Xian seemed to feel a little uncomfortable and walked around Xiao Xian several times. It seems a little uncomfortable. He fell heavily to the ground. Xiao Xian pretended to be relaxed. It was a bit troublesome originally, but luckily I was lucky. Sure enough, it was not what he expected. Under the powerful arrangement of the heaven and earth soul searching technique, the power of the divine soul condensed into a giant white dragon in mid-air. Just keep attacking its weak points. For a moment, under these powers, you actually killed the yin-yang tiger beast. Ho ho ho. Although the white dragon is condensed from the power of the soul, it is not impossible to capture this tiger beast. A piece of cake. He also indeed discovered the weakness of this yin-yang tiger beast. The two golden powers were like cruise missiles, attacking directly towards the yin-yang tiger beast's eyes. Although it did not cause any harm to the yin-yang tiger beast in the end. The yin-yang tiger beast roared angrily. This yin-yang tiger beast's whole body is shrouded by the two chi of Tai Chi, only its eyes are the shields. As long as these two shields are broken, this tiger beast can be killed instantly. But when the attack falls on the yin-yang tiger beast, it will actually cause damage. With one blow, the eyes of this tiger beast were penetrated. The power of the soul in his body burst out instantly. There was also a smile on Xiao Xian's face. I see, if that's the case, I won't be polite. Laugh. Humph, if that's the case, don't blame me for being rude. At the same time, Xiao Xian really noticed that he was forced by the power of the soul. But with the severe pain in his eyes and the suppression of the white dragon's spirit, even though the yin-yang tiger beast was a fourth-level monster, it couldn't bear the power at this time. Under the cover of these two powers, the yin-yang tiger beast finally sensed the crisis, roared angrily, opened its big mouth, and directly swallowed the power of the two golden avenues. The white dragon roared angrily. Xiao Xian clearly felt that when attacking these two eyes, it was particularly smooth and natural, as if he could kill this tiger beast in the next second. Next. Outside the energy network, Sidu Shenglong saw this scene. His face was full of shock, and he looked at Xiao Xian as if he was looking at a monster. But Xiao Xian was not discouraged, because he found that the attack just now had helped him find the weakness of this yin-yang tiger beast. It turned into a white streak and went straight into the yin-yang tiger beast's eyes. The power of the avenue was once again condensed. Figure this out. Xiao Xian sneered. A whimper soon followed. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 572. After hearing Xiao Xian's explanation, naturally, Sidu Shenglong would not really believe it. After all, speaking of it, with his current strength, there is no guarantee that he can win against the seriously injured yin-yang tiger beast. But now, this yin-yang tiger beast has fallen at Xiao Xian's feet? Doesn't this mean that Xiao Xian is even stronger than him? Incredible. Master Xiao Xian is really a person who can create miracles. Sidu Shenglong couldn't help but say, really speaking, luck is also a part of strength. For this explanation, Xiao Xian was non-committal, just shook his head and chuckled, and then walked straight to the yin-yang tiger beast. The serious sword struck. A black and white demon pill appeared in his hand. He could feel that in addition to the amazing energy contained in this demon pill, there was also a vague Taoist aura. This should be the previous yin-yang stealth technique. This discovery also surprised him. The fourth-level monster demon elixir is important, but it is not something that cannot be found elsewhere, but this yin-yang stealth technique is different. Although I don't know the level of this technique. But judging from the effect just now, it should at least be a Xian-level Taoist technique. This thing has a price but no market. At least, it was not something that could be found casually in the Zhulo city of the Kanglong Empire. I will accept this demon pill. Xiao Xian turned around. As for the remaining flesh, scales, and claws of the demon beast, it belongs to Elder Situ. No problem. Situ Shenlong did not refuse. He also understood very well that if Xiao Xian hadn't taken the initiative to enter the energy net at the last moment during today's hunt, they would still have nothing to do with the yin-yang tiger beast. Make it clearer. If it weren't for Xiao Xian, they would really be in danger today. This time young Master Xiao Xian takes the greatest credit. Needless to say, the demon pill must be yours. Situ Shenlong was also a little embarrassed. As an elder of the Hunter Alliance, he did not play a major role at this critical moment today. He was already embarrassed enough by taking down the yin-yang cutting tiger beast. What else could he do to lose face? Dan. Of course, the third-level spiritual treasure also belongs to Elder Situ. Xiao Xian also understood that Situ Shenlong was also a person who wanted to save face. He took the demon pill, so naturally he had to give the latter some benefits. Is there really a third-level spiritual treasure? Situ Shenglong's eyes lit up as expected. Look there, isn't it? Xiao Xian pointed casually. It was a small mound that looked unremarkable. However, after Xiao Xian's guidance, this place was different. Some of the guards from the Hunter Alliance slowly surrounded it. Excavation. With the previous series of things, Situ Shenlong naturally had 100% trust in Xiao Xian. Needless to say, the Alliance directed the guards around him to take action. These personal guards are also guys who can't afford to be early because they have no profit. After hearing Situ Shenglong's words, he rushed over without hesitation, with excitement on their faces. A third-level spiritual treasure. That's serious good stuff. For ordinary people, let alone getting it, even taking a look at it is considered lucky. Moreover, according to what Xiao Xian said before, if he doesn't want this third-level spiritual treasure, he will give it to Situ Shenlong in the end. In this case, the last thing that needs to be done is simple. Situ Shenlong is a person who has a clear understanding of business law. After obtaining the third-level spiritual treasure, no matter what angle he looked at, he couldn't keep it all to himself. At the very least, he had to give some benefits to his subordinates. Actually at this moment, facing the third-level spiritual treasure, Situ Shenlong also looked a little curious. He was almost certain that Xiao Xian would not say anything casually, so there must be a third-level spiritual treasure under this small mound. But what is this third-level spiritual treasure that can arouse the concern of the yin-yang tiger beast? Will it be of great help to him? You must know that his current strength is at the high level of the spiritual god realm, and he is only one step away from the blue god realm. If he can have the help of spiritual treasures, then it might not be that difficult for him to get through the state. Spiritual god realm, blue god realm. There is only one word difference, but there is a huge gap in realms. It is said that after reaching the Kangshen realm, cultivators can use the power of the world. It's within reach. At this moment, Situ Shenlong could not help but feel excited when he saw the green spirit holy fruit, which was green and full of aura. It turns out to be a real spiritual treasure, and, it seems to be a third-level spiritual treasure. At this time, several of his personal guards said quickly, "It seems that this is a green spirit holy fruit, and it is quite old." Situ Shenlong himself was not sure. Situ Shenlong also completely put his heart in his stomach. "Elder Situ, I discovered it. It can be said to be extremely important. One person is also one person. But the faith of 10,000 people can defeat 10,000 people with one in a war situation. By accepting people's blessings, you can use the power of people's faith to strengthen your body. Hear this. Figure this out. Just like now, things like Qingling holy fruit. This thing is suitable for practitioners at high levels of the spiritual God realm and those at the peak of the spiritual God realm. He also knows that when it comes to things like heaven and earth spiritual treasures, cultivators will always prefer too little and not too much. But now, Xiao Xian actually spoke like this, then there is only one possibility, he has other purposes. Therefore, at this moment, he just smiled slightly and said, as for how to use the holy green spirit fruit, it is naturally up to Elder Sidhu Shenlong to assign it himself. There are many large empires and large sections. Why don't those powerful practitioners take action against ordinary people when they can overturn mountains and seas by themselves? However, under the temptation of the Qingling holy fruit, is Xiao Xian still willing to accept the previous conditions? Sidhu Shenlong was so excited that he almost fell down. The reason is that they also hope to gain the power of faith from the common people. Although there was an agreement before, Sidhu Shenlong also let out a long sigh. Please rest assured, Mr. Xiao Xian, after I enter the Kengshen realm, the Hunter Alliance will be Mr. Xiao Xian's strongest ally in the future. Kengshen. Speaking of which, even a talented player like Xiao Xian would not give up casually. Sidhu Shenlong looked enthusiastic. He looked at the guards with burning eyes, hoping to see something unusual among them. Xiao Xian is also a smart person. The green spirit holy fruit is the most important spiritual treasure for advancing from the spiritual God realm to the blue God realm. It can greatly increase the success rate of promotion. After seeing Sidhu Shenlong's expression, he knew what he was thinking. Even the look in Xiao Xian's eyes was a little more awkward. Don't worry, Elder Sidhu. I said that Xiao Xian is also a person who keeps his promises. Since he said that the third-level spiritual treasure is yours, he will not go back on his words. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 573. Regarding Sidhu Shenlong's words, Xiao Xian naturally accepted it happily. In this world, the easiest thing is to talk to smart people, and the second easiest thing is to cooperate with smart people. There is no doubt that Sidhu Shenlong is a smart man. He is also a smart person who understands current affairs. For Xiao Xian, this is like someone coming to give him a pillow when he is dozing off, and he will naturally accept it happily. And the Qingling holy fruit that Sidhu Shenlong valued so much. For Xiao Xian, it is not that important. After all, that thing only provides some spiritual connections for cultivators. It helps cultivators in the spiritual realm feel more confident when making breakthroughs. However, Xiao Xian is still at the beginning of the spiritual God realm, and is still far away from the blue God realm. It is useless to ask for the green spirit saint fruit now, so it is better to be a favor. Give it to Sidhu Shenlong. After all, Sidhu Shenlong is also a master of the spiritual God realm who is not weak in strength. He also contributed a lot to the annihilation of the yin-yang tiger beast this time. If he is not given enough rewards, it will also affect the relationship between the two. Master Xiao Xian, it's really thanks to you this time. If it weren't for you, I would be embarrassed in the Hunter Alliance. Sidhu Shenlong walked up to Xiao Xian and laughed in a low voice. In the future, if Mr. Xiao Xian is of any use to me, there is no harm in speaking up. Good. I am about to go to Qinghua Academy in the Qinghua Empire. I think I may have a lot of interactions with Elder Sidhu in the future. Xiao Xian said proactively. Qinghua College? I see. I wonder where Mr. Xiao Xian came from, and he was able to enter Qinghua College for further study? What a joy and congratulation, Sidhu Shenlong was surprised again. It's nothing. It's just that I've gotten some opportunities over the years, and it's not something to be proud of. Xiao Xian knew that Qing Li's identity could not be exposed for the time being. So I responded vaguely. Having said that, Sidu Shenlong also understood that it was better not to say more about some things, and at this moment he also said goodbye to Xiaoxian. Figure this out. Xiaoxian also said goodbye to Sidu Shenlong, took Gongsun Xiaoxiao, and followed Qing Li towards the Qinghua Empire. Along the way, he clearly felt that after passing the monster mountain range, there were more people on the road. Many of them are cultivators, and these cultivators are different from those cultivators in tattered clothes in the monster mountain range. All of them were neatly dressed, and there were people with swords and jade pendants hanging on them. It was obvious that these people were all sons of nobles. Moreover, Xiaoxian also noticed that Qing Li's attitude towards him also changed slightly after what happened in the monster mountain range. Before, Qing Li seemed to only regard him as a partner. At best, he is a trustworthy partner. But it's different now. Now, when Qing Li faces him, he has some other kind of respect, which makes him somewhat at a loss. Along the way, Gongsun Xiaoxiao was doing well. King Li is a girl who likes children. As long as it was a snack that Gongsun Xiaoxiao liked, she would pay for it, often making Xiaoxiao happy. However, what made her helpless was. Despite this, Gongsun Xiaoxiao still became closer to Xiaoxian, which made King Li angry and helpless. Xiaoxiao, when you get to the Qinghua Empire, how about you go with your sister and stop being with Xiaoxian? On the carriage, King Li hugged the pink Gongsun Xiaoxiao and teased with a deliberate smile. No. Brother Long said that Xiaoxiao will always follow brother Xiaoxian from now on. Gongsun Xiaoxiao shook his head like a rattle while eating candy. You can't listen to other people's words. After hearing this, Qing Li's nose almost became angry. Master Xiaoxian. Ye Gongsun Xiaoxiao smiled. If this is really the case, Master Xiaoxian, you must not miss this baptism of heavenly flame. Snort. Hearing this, Xiaoxian was a little confused. Brother Xiao will always take you with him no matter what he does. Ah, will Xiaoxiao drag down brother Xiaoxian? Gongsun Xiaoxiao was young but very sensible. After hearing King Li's words, he asked timidly. He, Xiaoxiao is still good and knows how to treat me well. Xiaoxian, who was driving and watching Yin Yang stealth technique in front of the carriage, interjected. Qing Li refused to admit defeat and couldn't help but said, besides, Qinghua Academy does not allow children to enter, let's see what you do. Qing Li said seriously, at that time, perhaps Mr. Xiaoxian will reveal his purpose. This is also his explanation for Gongsun Heya. With your talent, Mr. Xiaoxian, you will become the leader of the younger generation in the Mingzhou territory and even the entire Eastern Barren Giant continent in the future. This time, no matter what, he would not just leave Gongsun Xiaoxiao outside and let her be in danger. Xiaoxian smiled and said, besides, what you don't have to worry about is that if this Qinghua Academy is so annoying, we won't go. Hear this. He seems to be indifferent to the adventures and treasures in the secret realm. Is it possible that this thing helped her so much? Before, when he was dating Qing Li, he had never seen her have such an expression. Even in the secret realm, she always looked calm. You too. Of course, this may also be because King Li didn't know that this secret realm was left by Gongsun Heya, otherwise he would have gone out of his way to find it. Qing Li looked at Xiaoxian seriously, besides, I can feel that young Master Xiaoxian is not a common person. Can you see this? Xiaoxian became interested. He knew that Qing Li must have other purposes for saying so much. Do you know that Qinghua College is the best college in the Mingzhou domain? What's more important is, although you have never said what the purpose of coming to our Qinghua Empire or even to the Mingzhou territory is, I can feel that your purpose must not be simple. On the way to the Qinghua Empire, she almost took care of Gongsun Xiaoxiao as her own daughter. Who knew that Gongsun Xiaoxiao would still be closer to Xiaoxian? But what exactly is this so-called baptism of heavenly flames? I don't believe that Xiao Xiao will still like you after seeing the colorful world of our King Hua Empire. Qing Li said, in the entire Mingzhou territory, only the cultivating students in the academy have the opportunity to participate in the annual Heavenly Flame baptism in the Mingzhou territory. Xiao Xian was also distressed. Perhaps. At that time, Longfi Longwu entrusted Gongsun Xiao Xiao to him, and he promised the two of them that he would take good care of Gongsun Xiao Xiao. No, don't worry, Xiao Xiao. This is not just Xiao Xian's promise to the Long brothers and sisters. How could an imperial princess like Qing Li be so interested in her? This made her feel dissatisfied. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 574. Xiao Xian knows. Qing Li is not a big talker. Now, the fact that she calls this Tianyuan baptism so important is enough to prove that this thing does have something extraordinary. More importantly, the more you experience the baptism of heaven's flame, it proves that the better your talent, the more chance you will have of becoming heaven's favored one in the future. Qing Li said seriously, so, if young Master Xiao Xian wants to be famous in the Mingzhou realm, he will have to undergo more baptisms of heavenly flames. For Xiao Xian, he has long been no longer interested in the so-called proud one of heaven. However, he understands that sometimes being famous is not a bad thing. Often, the bigger the name, the easier it is to be favored by some big sects. There is no doubt that between two practitioners with the same talent, whoever has more resources will have higher achievements in the future. And cultivation resources will not fall from the sky. You need to fight for it yourself. In the world of cultivation, the reason why there are so many large sects is that there are tens of thousands of outstanding cultivators who can squeeze their heads in to enter. This is entirely because of the cultivation resources and cave heaven paradise in these sects. The simplest way to enter these sects is to become the so-called proud one of heaven. Xiao Xian knew that on the Tianqian continent and the Great Desolate Continent, the crisis is approaching. To resolve these crises, he had to seize the time and become a person with a say on this continent as quickly as possible. In this way, he would have the opportunity and ability to save the two continents and the hundreds of millions of lives on them. All right. It seems that I really have to undergo the baptism of heavenly flame. Xiao Xian said seriously, however, Princess Qing Li, I have a small matter, and I would like to ask the princess for help. After hearing this, the corners of Qing Li's mouth also turned up slightly. No matter what happens to this guy, he will appear calm, easygoing and well-informed. Unless you encounter something that really cannot be solved, I will never ask for help. What is it today? Could it be that he has changed his gender? He actually asked her for help? Tell me, if I can help, I will definitely help you. Qing Li nodded, but don't put too much hope in me. As a princess, I am not a very favored one. Ha! Xiao Xian was stunned. At this time, he couldn't help but take a closer look at Qing Li. A bit dumbfounded. If what she said is true, then she is too miserable as a princess, right? He was not taken seriously when he was in the Kanglong Empire, but he was still not taken seriously when he returned to the Qinghua Empire? What kind of imperial princess is this? I'm afraid he's not even as good as an ordinary person, right? In order to take care of Qing Li's face, Xiao Xian did not say these words. Instead, he looked at Qing Li seriously and said, in my impression, your status in the Qinghua Empire should be okay. Say what you have to say and don't engage in such things. Qing Li's reply was simple. Can I take Xiao Xiao into Qinghua Academy with me? Xiao Xian stopped beating around the bush and asked directly. This seems a bit difficult. Qing Li was stunned. She really didn't expect Xiao Xian to ask a question like this. She simply frowned slightly and continued, actually, this is indeed not a simple matter, but it is not impossible either. there is a glimmer of hope to hear. Xiao Xian became interested and asked quickly, tell me, what is the solution? As long as there is a glimmer of hope, I will do it. Hear this. Qing Li had a bit of disbelief in his eyes. She had also seen before that Xiao Xian was indeed extremely kind to Gongsun Xiao Xiao. Basically, whenever Gongsun Xiao Xiao needed it, he would do it without hesitation. Qing Li originally thought the reason why Xiao Xian did this was probably superficial, just to deal with the entrustment of Long Fei and Long Wu. Perhaps Xiao Xian can help with ordinary things. But if he really encounters trouble, he may refuse. Who knew that now that Qing Li had spoken out, Xiao Xian did not flinch at all, which really surprised her. Is what young master Xiao Xian said true? Qing Li couldn't help but said, if this is really the case, then please ask young master Xiao Xian to seek a position as a professor at Qinghua College. As long as you master 2 or more mysterious arts, you will be qualified to become a professor at Qinghua College. When the time comes, no one will stop you from taking Xiao Xiao into the college. 2 occult arts. Xiao Xian frowned slightly, but he was not too desperate. If it were applied to other young cultivators, let alone 2 mysterious techniques, even 1 mysterious technique would basically be impossible to produce. But Xiao Xian is different. He had already obtained a blue thunder palm from Zhao Shan before, plus the yin-yang stealth technique from the yin-yang tiger beast. These 2 Taoist techniques are extremely powerful. He should have reached the realm of mystical Taoism. As long as Xiao Xian can integrate these 2 Taoisms, it doesn't seem impossible to become a professor at Qinghua College. Have you figured it out? I can help you keep Xiao Xiao in Qinghua Palace, my palace. After all, I still have the identity of the 3rd princess, so I can ensure Xiaoxiu's safety. Qing Li explained. In fact, regarding the suggestions just made, she simply didn't believe that Xiao Xian could produce 2 mysterious techniques, let alone that Xiao Xian could become a professor at Qinghua College. Coupled with her little love for Gongsun, she had probably already thought of how to arrange the latter. That'll be easy. After hearing what Qing Li said, Xiao Xian also nodded secretly, feeling a lot more relaxed. Ever since he obtained the 2 mysterious skills, he has been thinking about seizing the time to successfully practice these 2 skills. It's just that I haven't had the time. Now, he is about to enter the so-called Qinghua Academy. Although he doesn't know much about this place, judging from the attitudes of the King Li and Long brothers, this place should also be full of hidden dragons and crouching tigers. In this place full of elite cultivators, if you don't want to be looked down upon, you can only have enough strength. That's good, I'll make some arrangements. Don't worry, although the place I live in isn't very good, I can guarantee that Xiao Xiao won't be wronged. Qing Li thought Xiao Xian agreed to her suggestion and nodded. Wait a minute, I want to ask, which is better, the professor's residence or yours? Xiao Xian asked. You really want to compete for the professor? That's a professor from Qinghua College. This is no joke. 90% of the professors at Qinghua College are masters in the Kangshen realm. Naturally, their residence is also a paradise where they can practice. Qing Li was a little shocked. She understood what Xiao Xian meant. Listening to Xiao Xian's words, he actually wanted to compete for the professor of Qinghua College. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 575. Is it? Using Kangshen realm masters as professors? It seems that Qinghua College really has a profound foundation. After hearing what Qing Li said, Xiao Xian was really surprised. Even though the Dao continent is vast, masters at the Kangshen realm can be considered the backbone of some sections. Who would have thought that such a person would be willing to come to Qinghua College to be a professor? This has to be said to be the ability of Qinghua Academy. Master Xiao Xian, this is no joke. Can you really use these two mysterious techniques? Qing Li looked at Xiao Xian in disbelief. She suddenly thought that when Xiao Xian killed Zhao Shan before, he seemed to have gotten something from the latter's spatial spirit treasure. Could that be the Blue Thunder Palm? But even so, it's just one step, and besides, Xiao Xian still hasn't succeeded in cultivation, so why is Xiao Xian so confident? If it doesn't work now, who knows if it won't work in the future? Xiao Xian smiled. How long will it take before we get to Qinghua College? It will be soon after passing the Monster Mountain Range, but Qinghua Academy's enrollment period will be in half a month, Qing Li said truthfully. Half a month, almost. Xiao Xian thought for a moment, nodded and said, I can at least cultivate a mysterious technique. As he spoke, he was also thinking secretly in his heart. As far as his current situation is concerned, with the 13 moves of Chunyang sword art, he has no shortage of offensive methods. Instead, he was more interested in the yin-yang stealth technique. After all, Xiao Xian is not a hot-blooded fool. When faced with danger, he will fight if he can and run away if he can't. He still knows this truth. If you learn the yin and yang stealth technique, he also has one more life-saving trick. Okay, then I will retreat for half a month, and I will leave Xiao Xiao to you, Xiao Xian decided. You. Qing Li suddenly became angry. What is this? No matter what, she is considered a princess of the Qinghua Empire and a cultivator princess, so she still has the status she should have. Why did he become like a nanny when he arrived at Xiao Xian's place? Taking care of your attack speed is nothing to Qing Li, but what makes her angry and helpless is that Xiao Xian seems to take this matter for granted. Like she was meant to be. Doesn't this mean he doesn't take her seriously? Hey. I know our Princess Qingli is kind-hearted and has no heirs, so just treat me as a favor. You don't want me to be bullied because of my lack of strength when I was at Qinghua Academy. Seeing Qing Li's angry expression, Xiao Xian quickly changed his face. This is a favor to you in the secret realm. Seeing Xiao Xian's pitiful look, Qing Li reluctantly agreed. Hey. I knew you would say yes. Xiao Xian looked like he had expected it, and said with a smile, don't worry, when I become the dean of Qinghua College, I will definitely not treat you badly. The carriage drove along. Under Qing Li's guidance, he finally stopped at an inn next to Qinghua College. After finding 2 rooms, Qing Li first took the attack speed Ni Xiao Xiao to a room facing the street, while Xiao Xian found another room and began to practice the yin and yang stealth technique. Although I don't know the level of yin-yang stealth technique. But at that time, Xiao Xian saw with his own eyes that the yin-yang stealth technique could make such a large tiger beast invisible, which was enough to prove that the level of this technique was not low. I want to practice this thing. Xiao Xian did not forget to let the system take action. Brother system. We are considered old partners. There is no need to hide our secrets now, right? Tell us how to practice this. Xiao Xian said to himself. Because the system is already inside his body and can be summoned at any time, he doesn't worry about the system not being able to hear it. As expected, it didn't take long for him to get a response from the system. As a practitioner, it is better to ask for help from others than to ask for yourself. The host should be self-reliant and self-confident, and should not rely on external factors at will, otherwise the foundation will be damaged. Okay, don't say any more of these nonsense. If you really have this intention, then help me improve my strength quickly. It's just a Xianxian Taoist skill. What's the problem? Xiao Xian interrupted the system impatiently. Joke. The system didn't let him cheat? How to become stronger without cheating? Is it possible that, like ordinary cultivators, they rely on cultivation to improve their strength? If that was the case, what else would he do with the system? In his previous life, he had read a lot of online novels. Which of the protagonists in the novels was not cheated and eventually became a god or an emperor? If there is a problem, it cannot be opened. Isn't this a fool? As for the cultivation foundation mentioned by the system, it happened at one time and another. Before, in Tianxian continent and Honghuan continent, his cultivation foundation had no problem at all. Arrived on the Daodao continent. He is a completely blank slate and has no foundation in cultivation at all. What is the so-called damage to the foundation? That's all, since the host doesn't know how to make progress. Cough cough cough. Brother system, I think you should not go too far with some things. What do you mean by not knowing how to make progress? If I didn't know how to make progress, why would I come all the way to Daodao continent? Don't you still see this? Xiao Xian interrupted the system with some dissatisfaction. Now, we are just grasshoppers on the same rope. If you don't help me, won't we be in trouble together? After he said this, the system stopped talking. It was obvious that Xiao Xian's words had their intended effect, and at the same time, this was also his purpose. Alright. This yin-yang stealth technique is divided into 3 stages: primary, intermediate and advanced. Successful cultivation at the first level can make the body as light as a swallow, as agile as a snake, as mobile as a tiger, and as fierce as a wolf. Whether it is attacking or dodging, you will be more agile. Even if you do not dodge the attack, you can offset 30% of the opponent's attack. Strength. The sound of the system is very clear. Sounds good. This is how powerful you can be at the beginning level. If you practice to the intermediate and high levels, wouldn't it be even more powerful? Xiao Xian was stunned and said, if you want to practice to a high level, what do you need? Without him, as long as you have enough practice time and reach a high level, it will naturally happen. Is it training time? Xiao Xian was in trouble. At this stage, what he lacks most is training time. After all, judging from the previous situation, he only had half a month to practice 2 mysterious techniques. The most lacking thing is time. Thinking of this, he rolled his eyes and said, Brother system, I think with your help, can this time be shortened a little? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 576. Cough cough cough. System prompt: this system is not a completely invincible system. Everything depends on people and God. This system has no way to guarantee the pace of the host's cultivation. At the same time, the system prompts the host not to push the envelope too far. The system was angry. After hearing these words, Xiao Xian's face was a little embarrassed. He could tell that the system seemed to be really impatient. This was really beyond his expectation. You know, no matter what time it was before, the system had always been polite to him and never lost its temper. I suddenly said this today. It seems that the system is really angry. Hey, brother system, don't be angry. It's all my fault. I went a little too far. Why don't I apologize to you? But, I still have a small promise. Xiao Xian said, I promise that if the system brother asks me to do something in the future, I will definitely do it. Isn't that okay? If you want something, you must exchange it for equal value. Xiao Xian understands this truth very well. Although now, he really doesn't know what the system is, whether it is a cold and heartless machine, or a sane human being. Or is it some kind of heavenly way that transcends the human world? None of this is known. But what I have to say is that now Xiao Xian needs the system, and the system also needs Xiao Xian, relying on this level of interest. The alliance between them will not collapse easily. And when the time is right, giving in may not be something unacceptable. Seeing that you are so sincere, this system will not remember the faults of the villain. I will forgive you this time, but remember not to push yourself too far in the future, the system said as expected. That's nature, that's nature. Xiao Xian quickly borrowed the donkey from Poxia, then this time, please give me some advice from the system brother on what I should do in order to become an excellent cultivator. I have been working with the system for such a long time. He also generally felt that the system was good to him, at least it was very active in urging him to practice. It seems that they want to train him into a true master of cultivation. This is no joke. And Xiao Xian can roughly guess that after the system really trains him, it may have a deeper purpose. Therefore, at this time, Xiao Xian took the initiative to say something that the system liked. It can also be regarded as paving the way for what follows. Similarly, Xiao Xian also believes that if he has a good relationship with the system will not treat him badly. How do I say this? Looking at what system brother means, is there really a better way to solve these things? Xiao Xian asked with a smile while facing the system. After a pause, the system also gave an affirmative answer. Learning Taoism quickly is indeed a way to improve your strength. In this case, this system will give you some benefits. Dao Lai Ling Kaiu. This item can improve your ability to understand the Dao and improve your understanding of the Dao. I hope you will cherish it. Oh. Xiao Xian nodded one after another. However, when I saw a small, dusty piece of metal in front of me, I felt a strange feeling in my heart. Without further ado, in his impression, the system seems to respond quickly. This is an urgent question. Xiao Xian's face showed bitterness. As for the Kinglan spirit gathering formation you gave me before, it may be able to gather spirits temporarily, but it is not a long-term solution. Hey, brother system, don't say that. I still have some talent, Xiao Xiantian said with a face. This system can provide you with two techniques. One is called Shen Long Kung Fu, which is a 4th grade technique, the other is Ba Tian Qiang Candle Kung Fu, which is a 7th grade technique. That's natural, but I prefer to believe it. Xiao Xian smiled and complimented, however, I still lack a very important thing. If I don't have it, I'm afraid it will affect my future cultivation path. The system slowly said, both of these two are relatively precious, it depends on how you choose. The things provided by the system are generally relatively high-end. The system seemed to be used to Xiao Xian's attitude. In the end, it just said coldly, to practice, you still need to be sincere. If you don't have a firm heart, no matter how much external help you have, you will probably accomplish nothing in the end. This time when I heard Xiao Xian reaching out to the party, the system did not react much, but was relatively calm. Isn't this once and for all? If I get this thing, won't my future cultivation path be smooth sailing? With the help of the big brother of the system and my hard work, my future cultivation path will be smooth sailing. Seems to be really thinking about this issue. Right now, I don't have the technique to condense Dao power. Ever since I entered the spiritual god realm, I still use the most primitive method of absorbing Dao power. I'm afraid this method won't last long. For practitioners, Taoism and exercises are both important. Regarding Xiao Xian's attitude, is there such a thing? But that's just because they didn't meet any truly strong people during some training. Even when they met some strong people, they took advantage of the loopholes and used divine soul attacks, and they were lucky enough to defeat them. Before Xiao Xian started to ask questions, the system spoke out his questions, as if it had already expected him to ask this question. Indeed, it does, but it depends on how you choose. One is the role in combat, and the other is the role in accumulation. The two complement each other and are indispensable. To be fair, the system didn't seem surprised at all. It just glared at the latter, and then said slowly, if you have anything to say, just say it directly. Anyway, finding a host like you is the worst thing this system has done. Although Xiao Xian did not encounter too much trouble during his cultivation before, Xiao Xian was a little excited. But the soul attack is only effective against opponents whose soul power is relatively weak. So, the system brother really has some suggestions. Why don't you come and listen? Xiao Xian asked quickly. Kung Fu. This item can enhance your understanding of the world's Taoism. Even the legendary holy level Taoism can be fully utilized by you. Facing someone with a stronger soul than him, if he uses the power of the soul rashly, he will suffer greater damage. But now, why does the thing I gave you look a little bit like a loser? It's not like it's something amazing. Ahem. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 577. What's the difference? After hearing the introduction of the system, Xiao Xian could feel the problem. From a grade point of view, the 4th grade skills are naturally inferior to the 7th grade ones. It is impossible for the system not to know this truth. If this is the case, why does the system still let him choose? This is obviously a problem. Unless, there is something extraordinary about the previous Shenlong Kung Fu. Xiao Xian still had a smile on his face and said directly, perhaps in the eyes of the system brother, he wants me to choose the Shenlong Kung Fu. In this case, please explain to the system brother what is the strength of the Shenlong Kung Fu. Children can be taught. The Shenlong Kung Fu, as the name suggests, is a technique created by Shenlong back then. It can be guided by the dragon energy of heaven and earth and absorb the power of heaven and earth. As long as there is enough opportunity, it can evolve 3 times and finally become a 9th grade Kung Fu. After reaching that level, as long as the technique is running, the Tao power between heaven and earth will automatically condense, and the efficiency of cultivation will naturally increase. So stupid. Xiao Xian looked surprised. Although he was prepared in his heart, when he actually heard these words, he couldn't help but feel excited. The power between heaven and earth. This is not only an astronomical figure for him at present, but also an astronomical figure for practitioners in the Blue God realm and the Golden God realm. If there is a 9th grade skill. Not to mention Xiao Xian, even a fool can accumulate Tao power casually and upgrade his strength to the Blue God realm or even the Golden Body realm. But, if you want to upgrade to the 9th level skill, you still have to pay a price, right? Xiao Xian was not dazzled by the system's words. It's natural. Every time you upgrade your skill level, you need to search for the Holy Dragon's Qi between heaven and earth. Only with the Holy Dragon's Qi can you change each skill level. The system said, but if the Qi of the Holy Dragon cannot be found, this skill cannot be improved. Xiao Xian knows. For every cultivator, he can only choose one method in his life. Once he chooses it, he cannot change it until his death. That is, if he chooses Shenlong Kung Fu. If he can't find the Qi of the Holy Dragon in the future, he will only be able to use a 4th level skill until the end of time. That's the situation. It depends on how you choose, the system said. Good. The system's words also reminded Xiao Xian. Perhaps, for ordinary practitioners, a 7th level skill is already considered very good, and is enough to be used in the Golden God realm. But if you want to truly conquer this continent, so, it is obvious that this Shenlong Kung Fu is more promising. It can even be said that only by choosing a technique like the Shenlong Kung Fu can he really have a chance to become the world leader. Figure out these joints. Xiao Xian no longer hesitated and said directly to the system, thank you, brother system, for reminding me. I know what I should choose. I choose Shenlong Kung. Are you sure? Sure. You can teach me, kid. I hope that after you master this technique, you can use your own strength to raise the Shenlong Jiang Kung to the 9th level. There seemed to be some relief in the system's voice. This time, Xiao Xian felt a warm feeling that he had not seen for a long time. In the past, he had many unnecessary conflicts with the system because of trivial matters. But there have never been any cracks in their relationship. Now hear these words. Xiao Xian really felt that the system and him were not really tools. On the contrary, they were like seniors and juniors. The system helps him every time. It can be regarded as a guide to the road ahead. Brother system, I'm still a little curious. Has anyone upgraded the skill level to level 9 before? No. God damn it, you tricked me. Xiao Xian was still immersed in the emotion of the system just now. Since it is something given by the system. Isn't this a bit too much? System prompt, host please use system rewards correctly. Who knew it was just to trick him? No one has reached the 9th level of this divine dragon skill before, but now they are giving Xiao Xian a piece of cake? Now, do you still want to choose Shenlong Kung Fu? The system then regained its seriousness and continued to ask. It should be a reward for him. Xiao Xian could only take out the Daolai Linkaiu he was given before. He noticed that this thing was dark, neither iron nor copper, nor gold, nor jade, but it felt as warm and moist as jade. But now, after hearing the system's response, his face couldn't hold back at all. What kind of trouble is the system going to make? He originally thought that the system specially came up with something like the dragon skill. Xiao Xian quickly comforted him flatteringly, then I'll give it a try and see if this thing is useful. But in the end, thinking that the system had helped him a lot before, he forced himself to hold back the bad breath in his heart. Xiao Xian was a little embarrassed, but then his eyes slowly changed from the previous anger to seriousness, and he replied, I still choose Shenlong Kung Fu. No matter how Xiao Xian summoned him, the system seemed to disappear out of thin air and would not respond to him at all. Brother system, let's hear it. Ahem. There is no more language help from the system. You are young and ambitious, and your future achievements may be immeasurable. After the system gave a sentence, it fell into silence. The quality shouldn't be too bad, right? Hello? You haven't told me how to use the iron block you gave me before? You just slipped away? Isn't this a bit too much? Seeing this, Xiao Xian still laughed and said directly, I will tell you today, since no one can improve the Shenlong Kung Fu to the 9th level, then I, Xiao Xian, am the first person to practice the Shenlong Kung Fu. The system did not respond, which seemed very unexpected. Playing disappearing, right? Gives people a warm feeling. For this answer. Although this system has not found anyone who can do this, we have to say that this dragon skill can indeed increase the level. The system also seems a bit awkward. Xiao Xian almost cursed. Xiao Xian frowned slightly and lightly smashed the table. Who knew that this time, he actually made a small hole on the table? What? Didn't the system boss say at that time that this thing was here to help me increase the speed of my Taoist training? How could it still be used as a weapon? Did the system make a mistake? Xiao Xian said to himself. What do you want to do? Unfortunately. Damn it, Haha, it's just a joke. System brother, don't worry about it. Speaking of which, this matter is nothing, right? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 578. In the room. After receiving a systematic reprimand, Xiao Xian did not dare to neglect, carefully placed the Daolai Linkaiu on the table, sat cross-legged and began to silently comprehend the demon elixir of the yin-yang tiger beast. Even among the 4th grade monsters, the yin-yang tiger beast is also a relatively ferocious one. Because of its Taoist skills, ordinary monsters have little chance of winning against him. If it weren't for the previous battle with the ice bat monkey, both sides would suffer losses. Just relying on people like Sidu Shenlong and Xiao Xian, they simply don't have the qualifications and abilities to fight it, and they really have to face the yin-yang tiger beast in its heyday. No matter Xiao Xian or Sidu Shenglong, they were killed instantly with one move. At this moment, the demon pill fell into Xiao Xian's hands. Xiao Xian just used the power of his martial arts for a little while, and then, streams of pure energy flowed out of the demon pill and slowly poured into Xiao Xian's body. To his surprise, the demon elixir of this yin-yang tiger beast does not have the violent and ferocious aura of ordinary demon elixirs. Instead, it is very gentle and kind. It's like a panacea. No side effects at all. This is a bit strange. You know, because monsters are violent and cruel by nature, they not only eat hair and drink blood in life, but also fight with other monsters on weekdays. If you defeat the opponent, you will devour the opponent's demon elixir and even flesh and blood. In this way, you can strengthen your own strength. This method will inevitably make the strength of the monster beasts mixed with many impurities, making their demon elixir no longer pure. Therefore, even the practitioners in the Hunter Alliance, they don't dare to swallow the demon pill directly. Instead, they will use some herbs or spiritual treasures to first remove the impurities in the demon pill and then refine it. A reckless devouring behavior like Xiao Xian's is naturally extremely dangerous. Why is it so pure? Xiao Xian couldn't help but be a little curious. Looking at the crystal clear demon pill in front of him, he suddenly discovered something strange. Things like demon pills. It is the most core thing in the monster's body, and it naturally contains the monster's skills and power. For example, the previous yin-yang stealth technique was contained in the demon elixir of the yin-yang tiger beast. Now, Xiao Xian saw another strange thing from the demon pill. A particle that reveals green light. This thing is only the size of the little finger, round, and is spinning in the demon pill. Xiao Xian could see clearly that the green light particles were still absorbing the impurities in the demon pill. This surprised him. At the same time, he suddenly remembered something. At that time, on the outskirts of the demonic beast mountain range, his spirit-detecting eyes clearly saw 2 third-level spirit treasures, but for some unknown reason, only one remained. Could it be that another level 3 spiritual treasure was swallowed by the yin-yang tiger beast? And the thing after swallowing is this green thing? If this is true, Xiao Xian will make a lot of money. This way. Maybe the impurities in the demon pill were absorbed by this thing. But at this moment, looking at the thing inside the demon pill, he felt a little embarrassed. He didn't know how to take it out. The system, ahem, forget it, I'll just figure it out myself. Xiao Xian was accustomed to looking for the system. He also understood that after the system gave him many good things before, it fell into silence again. Even the Shen Longkong was thrown directly to him without any explanation. I don't know if the system is a little angry. Or does the system not care? Not knowing the reason behind this, Xiao Xian could only bite the bullet and start researching on his own. He had a vague feeling. These things given by the system do not seem to be that simple. In fact, this dragon skill will make him suffer a little. Think of this. Xiao Xian took out the dragon skill. He discovered that the divine dragon skill was not engraved on the jade like the ordinary skills, but was instead engraved on a palm-sized black scale. As soon as the scales are taken out, in an instant, a simple and old atmosphere appeared in the room, as if an ancient behemoth had awakened. Buzz buzz. Don't wait for Xiao Xian to be confused. The green particle in the demon pill in his hand actually made a buzzing sound, which sounded like begging for mercy and fear. Is this thing so overbearing? At this time, Xiao Xian could figure it out without saying much. It was definitely not him who was afraid of these green particles, but the black scales in his hand. Hey, since you are so afraid of this thing, then I will refine it for you. In the future, you can help me remove the impurities in the demon pill. Xiao Xian took the demon pill, and a strong power of the avenue appeared, directly wrapped in the demon pill. Hizzy. under the power of a fox and a tiger with black scales. Xiao Xian's power of the great Dao was greatly advantaged, and he swallowed this thing directly. The green particles were successfully refined by Xiao Xian without any struggle. Looking at how cute you are, let's call you Little Green from now on. We will work together to improve our strength together. Xiao Xian touched the green particles with a smile. Hizzy. Green particles responded for a while, not sure if he understood what Xiao Xian said. Then I'll take it as your consent. Throw Xiaolu into the space magic weapon. Xiao Xian was also a little curious. Among all things in the world, there are countless magical and spiritual treasures, such as spiritual substances like green. Even he, who has been baptized by 2 continents, is a little confused about what this thing is. Never mind. I can't figure it out, so I won't think about it for now. Let's get down to business first. 3 times 5 divided by 2. Xiao Xian completely absorbed the pure energy in the yin-yang tiger beast demon pill. What made him regretful was that even after absorbing so much energy, his Tao power still did not reach the intermediate level of the spiritual god realm. His Qi is like a bottomless pit. It's like, no matter how much energy is poured into it, it can't be filled. Crush the demon pill easily. A Taoist technique engraved on the animal bones was displayed. Xiao Xian concentrated slightly, and he noticed that what was engraved on the animal bones was the yin-yang stealth technique that he had dreamed of. A ray of divine soul power entered the animal bones. After closing your eyes. In Xiao Xian's divine palace, lines of text appeared, which were the key points of practicing yin-yang stealth technique. For these complicated texts, Xiao Xian frowned subconsciously. In his impression, this kind of high-level mystical art is difficult to understand without the guidance of a teacher. Just when he was concentrating on understanding, the Daolai Linkai beside him suddenly came into play. The words on the animal bones seemed to be attracted by the Daolai Linkai, and suddenly appeared in mid-air. Then they turned into golden little people. The golden villain seemed to be standing on a training ground, slowly starting to perform the yin and yang stealth technique. This Daolai Linkai can actually turn words into human form, thereby increasing the speed of Xiao Xian's Taoist training. Shall I wipe it? Daolai Linkai is awesome, the system is awesome. With such a good thing, if I, Xiao Xian, can't learn the yin-yang stealth technique within half a month, wouldn't I become a fool? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 579. Half a month flies by in a blink of an eye. With the help of Daolai Linkai, Xiao Xian's practice of yin and yang stealth was naturally very fast, and he finally reached the intermediate level on the last day. Only then did he discover the beauty of this yin-yang stealth technique. Xiao Xian has also inquired about the system in the past few days. According to the system introduction, this yin-yang stealth technique is still extremely mysterious. If you practice it to a high level, the effect will not be worse than the underground technique. Stand up slightly. Xiao Xian changed his mind and used the yin-yang stealth technique, and his body became illusory. Go to the door. He didn't need to raise his hand to push the door, and his body could pass through easily, as if the wooden door in front of him didn't exist. I haven't seen you in half a month. I don't know how Qingli is doing now. Let's go see her first. Xiao Xian thought for a moment and then walked towards the next room, but he had just entered the door. I heard a splash of water. He didn't think much about it. When he looked up, he was immediately shocked. Unexpectedly, in the center of the room, there was a large steaming wooden barrel filled with hot water. Inside the barrel, it was Qingli who was undressing from her skirt. Under the mist, Xiao Xian vaguely saw Qingli sitting in the wooden barrel. Under the steaming hot water, her pretty face was slightly flushed. There were still a few drops of water on the snow-white and slender neck. Beautiful beauty, extremely tempting. Fuck, fuck. See no evil, see no evil. See this scene. Xiao Xian was really frightened and ran out in a hurry. He knew Qing Li's temper and character. This princess of the Qinghua Empire was not the kind of person who was weak and easy to bully. If Qing Li knew, he would secretly use Taoism to watch her take a shower. I was afraid that his head could be cut off with a sword. At this moment, Qing Li in the room was also puzzled. The admission day for Qinghua College was coming soon. She had thought that she would take a shower and change clothes today, and then take Xiao Xian and Gong Sun Xiao Xiao there tomorrow. But just now, I had a strange feeling. It was as if someone was spying on her. This made her suspicious, and she quickly took out a royal spiritual treasure and looked around to see who was around. This royal spiritual treasure was given by his father Qing Cheng. You can check if there are any other practitioners within a dozen feet. This function is not very useful in battle, but it can be used in some private situations, so King Gli always keeps it with him. Ling Bao takes a photo. But she didn't find anything, which made her even more confused. Dong dong dong. Miss Qing, are you still there? Should we leave tomorrow? At this time, Xiao Xian's voice suddenly sounded outside. Should we prepare something? It's natural. Hearing Xiao Xian's voice, Qing Li suddenly realized something and smiled faintly. However, I have already prepared what should be prepared. Come in and take a look. Ah! Isn't it a good idea to go in now? Xiao Xian said subconsciously, but as soon as he said these words, he realized that it was not good. Oh, why is it bad? The next second, the door was opened directly. King Gli appeared in a long white dress, ting ting, but there was anger in her beautiful eyes. It can be seen from the water droplets still on her hair. She must have just put on clothes. It turns out that Princess Kingson was taking a bath just now. It seems that my guess is correct, he. Xiao Xian explained quickly. Guess. King Gli's eyes were like knives. Turning around Xiao Xian, he said coldly, is it really just a guess? No, did you do something excessive secretly? This is simply impossible. Hearing this, Qing Li's face became a little more suspicious, and he looked at Xiao Xian. Qinghua Academy admissions not only test the strength, but also the fighting ability. Do you just use your body skills to avoid when fighting? Not to mention, I learned this body magic and Taoism from the yin-yang tiger beast. It not only has evasive methods, but also offensive methods, Xiao Xian explained as he walked out with the barrel in his arms. This time, Xiao Xian, who was standing at the door, was a little at a loss. Standing at the door, he didn't know whether he should go in or not. It's just a fluke, Xiao Xian didn't know why. What? You're standing at the door and you haven't come in. Do you still want me to invite you? Xiao Xian said with a little distress, I don't know either. Now I feel that I am only at the beginning of the spiritual god realm and have not reached the intermediate level. Qing Li looked at Xiao Xian seriously again and asked, in that case, have you completely refined the demon elixir of the yin-yang tiger beast? Your strength should have reached the middle level of the spiritual god realm. What a terrifying comprehension ability. Xiao Xian's goal is still the professor of Qinghua College. However, you said before that all the professors at Qinghua College are at the blue god realm. I am a beginner at the spiritual god realm. Can I participate in the professor election? Qing Li was really shocked. She knew that Xiao Xian was powerful in combat, but the level of the elementary level of the spiritual god realm was not high even among the students of Qinghua Academy. Can you still understand Taoism? Moreover, you also understood a mysterious technique? Is what you said true? Just like now, maybe Xiao Xian is still calm and calm. No, I'm an honest person, What else can I do besides guessing? Xiao Xian waved his hand awkwardly. When she was a child, she also heard her father Qing Cheng say that some talented practitioners can understand Taoist techniques from monsters, plants, and heaven and earth. Generally, practitioners who can do this will have great achievements in the future. All are immeasurable. Stop talking about this, didn't you say you were ready? What have you prepared? Xiao Xian was afraid that Qing Li would be entangled in Taoism, so he quickly changed the subject. Tomorrow, we can enter the list of Qinghua students directly without queuing. However, if you want to become a professor for Qinghua students, you have to rely on yourself. Qing Li took out a cyan token and handed it to Xiao Xian. As a royal princess. That's not true. Move the barrel out, and then I will tell you about the enrollment tomorrow. Qing Li glared at Xiao Xian. You have been practicing for half a month and you don't say what you have practiced. Do you still want to hide it from me? It better be this way. It's just a movement technique, no big deal, Xiao Xian said awkwardly. After Qing Li finished speaking, he turned around and returned to the house. Shenfa Taoism? Xiao Xian asked, a little embarrassed. She is also a well-informed person. That's very good. But Qing Li looked at the latter solemnly, as if looking at another monster. After all, Xiao Xian was just a cultivator in the spiritual realm. Qing Li couldn't help but frown. Here are 2 royal tokens. No, doesn't this feel a little inappropriate? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 580. Xiao Xian asked this question. Qing Li immediately received an invincible look. After all, Xiao Xian's question is indeed a bit excessive. For ordinary practitioners in the spiritual realm, being able to enter Qinghua Academy as a student would already be a high price. Where is Xiao Xian like this? Being a student is not enough, but he also needs to be a professor? You know, the cultivation resources that professors can enjoy are simply as high as in the sky compared to those on earth. Now, if those spiritual God realm students knew what Xiao Xian was thinking. Still angry and vomiting blood? Don't worry about this. When Qinghua Academy was founded, professors were selected based on ability rather than strength. As long as you can master 2 Taoist techniques and are willing to share them, you will be eligible for professorships. Qing Li did not dwell on Xiao Xian's question, although you are in the spiritual realm, if you really have 2 kinds of mystical arts, you can also become a professor. You still want to give up your Xian Dao skills to others? Xiao Xian scratched his head, a little reluctant. This is nothing to worry about. Becoming a professor at Qinghua College, you will enjoy most of the training resources in Qinghua College, and you will also get the qualification to start an independent mountain, not to mention the baptism of Tianyan. Qing Li pondered for a moment. Besides, there is still a chance to come into contact with earth magic. Really? Xiao Xian was stunned. The underground technique is something that even practitioners in the Blue God realm and even the Golden God realm covet. Of course, this is after you become a professor at Qinghua College, so don't be too happy. Hey, it's natural. However, since it is what I, Xiao Xian, want, then it must be my, Xiao Xian's, in the end. Xiao Xian is full of confidence. Regarding this point, Qing Li was also non-committal. She indeed saw too many miracles in Xiao Xian, some of which were even miracles that she could not believe. All right. Watching Xiao Xian leave carelessly, Qing Li also muttered to himself and smiled bitterly. It's really strange. He is obviously just a cultivator in the spiritual realm, why can I feel such a big threat from him? You know, now she is also an intermediate practitioner of the spiritual God realm. Not only is he 1 level higher than Xiao Xian in terms of realm, she was even more confident that she would not be weaker than Xiao Xian when it came to the spiritual treasure weapon, but this vague sense of danger still made her feel a little uneasy. The next day, Qing Li brought Xiao Xian and Gong Sun Xiao to Qinghua College. At this moment, at the gate of Qinghua Academy, a group of young cultivators were already surrounding 3 floors inside and 3 floors outside. With the reputation of Qinghua College in the Mingzhou realm, cultivators between the ages of 20 and 25 would dream of entering here to practice. Rich families and famous sects gritted their teeth and sent their descendants to Qinghua Academy. Have you heard? This year's Qinghua College admissions competition is extremely fierce, and which genius from the Wang family will also participate? Not only the geniuses from the Wang family, but also the little witch from the Long family, and Bai Vuchang from the Bai family will also participate. There are also martial arts idiots from the Zhang family. It is said that they will all become leaders of the academy. It's amazing. If that's the case, do ordinary people like us still have a chance? The Mountain Gate. Many young practitioners are talking about it. So powerful. I don't think it's anything special. Xiao Suanmen didn't care. These 3 people are Zhang Shen, the martial arts idiot of the Zhang family, Long Ruoxiu, the witch of the Long family, and Bai Vuchang of the Bai family. These few of them are considered to be the ones closest to Wang Rolong in strength among the younger generation in Mingzhou domain. In fact, on the ground of Mingzhou realm, Wang Rolong is undoubtedly the number 1 person of the younger generation, but there are also outstanding people chasing behind him. However, there are very few people who are truly qualified to enter the academy. Du Ling continued to compliment. Unlike senior brother Wang, the quota has almost been predetermined. This Qinghua Academy is really interesting. It's a bit troublesome. Faced with compliments from beauties, although Wang Rolong looked calm on the surface, he was still somewhat arrogant in his heart. But your target should be Du Rolong. He is the undisputed number 1 among the younger generation and your biggest rival for the professorship of Qinghua College. Qing Li continued. Qinghua Academy has such a great reputation in the Mingzhou territory. It is not surprising that it can attract geniuses in this area. Wang Rolong did not look at the dense crowd, his face was indifferent. Everyone's eyes suddenly focused on the figure of a slender man. Seeing Wang Rolong's indifference, Du Ling quickly changed the subject. As long as you defeat these few, senior brother, you will be the leader among the younger generation. Qinghua Academy will definitely devote all its resources to training you. Xiao Xian was a little surprised. Then he said nonchalantly, but if they don't open their eyes and want to stand in front of me, Wang Rolong, they must ask me about this sword first. Brother Rolong, it seems that what we expected was good. There are quite a lot of people in Qinghua Academy today, a woman with a hot figure and delicate face said to Wang Rolong with an adoring look on her face. He also came to be a professor. At the gate of Qinghua Academy. They are your real opponents. In particular, the little witch of the Long family was so good-looking and powerful that some young handsome men wanted to stick to her. Why, are you stunned? Could it be that you have fallen in love with that witch? Qing Li said deliberately from the side. I have to warn you, although that one is good-looking, she has many tricks. A practitioner with a handsome face and a long sword came forward, followed by a group of fans and fans. Look, 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 isn't that Wang Rolong, the genius of the Wang family? A piece of cake. He originally thought that he was the first person to run for professor of Qinghua College at such a young age. Who knew there were others like him? This only made him hesitate a little. Xiao Xian also showed a bit of amusement on his face. Who are those? One is a muscular man with a bare upper body and a blood-red sword on his shoulder, the other is a black-haired beauty with snow-white skin, and proud figure, and a delicate face, and the other is pale, wearing plain white mourning clothes, and her body is full of radiance. A white-haired man with a cold aura. Likewise, there are many suitors around them. In different directions, there are also different practitioners taking sides. Moreover, there were surprising sounds from time to time, and it was obvious that a large number of sect disciples and talented people from aristocratic families had appeared. Following the words of a young practitioner. See this scene. Wang Rolong frowned slightly, but did not deny it. Senior brother, according to the investigation, several other geniuses are coming soon.